Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in today's video we navigate the haunted halls of Roblox doors as we take a look at each of the game's many entities and characters. For those who don't know, Doors is a horror game created within Roblox. In it, we assume the role of a hapless adventurer who finds themselves trapped in a hotel consisting of 100 doors. Each of the doors we exit through brings us one step closer to a showdown against a powerful entity known as the Figure. Along the way, a guiding light helps illuminate our way. The lore is vague and perhaps best investigated in a separate video. For now, we will look at each of the many monstrous entities that stand between our hero and that final showdown. Please note that this video is recorded in February 2023, so it will only include entities added up to this point in time. With that disclaimer out the way, sit back, relax, and let's explore this creepy hotel and take a look at the monsters residing within. Guiding Light is a placid supernatural force which, as its name suggests, acts as a guiding light through the dark and dangerous hotel hallways. Guiding Light emits a faint sound around key items in the environment, leading the player to them. In pitch black rooms, it will light the way after a certain amount of time has passed, usually somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds. During chase sequences, this helpful spectre lights up the safest path and generally does its best to keep the player alive. It seems their role in the Doors universe is that of a guardian angel, always guiding but unable to directly intervene with proceedings. Eyes is made up from a cluster of monstrous eyeballs which float in a void-like aura. A distorted moan can be heard as they materialise. Eyes usually spawn after the player enters a new room or hallway, and looking directly at it causes our health to rapidly dwindle. If one is to encounter Eyes, then they must turn away from its deadly gaze and move past it while looking at something safe, such as the floor or ceiling. Rush wears a Cheshire Cat grin plastered across its demonic face. A floating head surrounded by smoke, Rush will cause the hotel lights to blink rapidly for a few seconds before quite literally rushing through the halls and consuming any poor souls who should get in its way. To avoid Rush, listen for its terrifying rumble and then quickly hide in a nearby closet. Rush causes all light bulbs to pop as it speeds past and will also open any upcoming exit door. Ambush is the nightmarish alternative to Rush. Like Rush, Ambush resembles a floating face, though this time white as a sheet. Its eyes are wide black voids, its mouth turned sideways, taking up most of its oval face. Ambush requires much quicker reaction time to avoid than Rush. Players will hear a distorted screech as it speeds into the room. You'll get but a second to react and quickly hide in the nearest closet. Unlike Rush, Ambush doesn't just pass by once, it will loop back over and over in quick succession. Getting caught results in an instant death. While exploring the hotel's unlit rooms, a goopy squid-like creature wearing a big, bright humanoid smile may sometimes appear. This is Screech, who alerts us to his presence by making a loud psst sound. When we hear this sound, we must quickly look around to locate Screech, who will be somewhere nearby. Spotting this slimy creature causes them to emit an ear-piercing screech before disappearing into the darkness once more. However, if we do not locate Screech in time, then they will attack, causing a 40-point damage penalty and a loud jump scare. Holt looks very much like a spectre or ghost. A pair of bright blue eyes shine through its translucent body, with a texture resembling ripples on water. Holt has one of the most unique gameplay systems built around it. The lights will flicker for an extended period, and then when opening the exit door, players are transported to a long dark corridor. Halt will now appear behind the player and give chase. As we run, Halt periodically teleports in front of us, and at this point a message flashes up warning us to turn around. The objective here is to keep ahead of Halt as they teleport back and forth within the hallway. Eventually we reach the exit and Halt despawns. If Halt should catch us however, then the following jump scare is triggered. Sometimes you may enter a room with two possible exits. These doors are always numbered, but do you remember the number of the previous door you entered through? There's no way to check now, as the sign has been mysteriously warped. One of these exits is a trap and contains a monstrous entity known as Dupe, a terrifying creature lurking in the darkness beyond the fake doorway, who roars and lunges at the player, dealing a substantial amount of damage to them should they approach. So do remember what door number should be next, or prepare to be duped by Dupe. Seek is one of two boss encounters found in the current version of Doors. Their appearance is humanoid, with a body made up from a goopy ink-like substance and a single giant cycloptic eye, their only distinguishing feature. Seek chases down the player and will instantly kill them should they catch up. To escape Seek, players must duck under fallen objects and choose the correct paths, guided as always by that mysterious light. After surviving several rooms, the player finds themselves in a long hallway full of giant arms and flaming pits. We must survive this final gauntlet in order to escape Seek once and for all. However, we must survive two encounters with this horrifying humanoid in total. One occurs before door 50 and the other after. In the lead up to encountering Seek, creepy eyes begin appearing in each room. This to notify us that the chase sequence is soon to begin. The last of the main entities is another boss type monster known as the Figure. Standing around 10 feet tall with long gangly arms and a circular mouth full of razor sharp teeth, the Figure is surely one of the most unnerving of all entries found within Doors. However, as you may have noticed, Figure does not have any eyes and so relies on its keen sense of sound to track down its prey. Therefore, when encountering the Figure, it is important to stay crouched and move quietly so as not to draw its attention. If players do alert the Figure, then they must hide inside a closet and survive a fast-paced QuickTime event. Failing this QTE results in an instant game over. The Figure inhabits room 50 and room 100, and each of these rooms contains a puzzle which must be completed in order for us to escape. The first room is set within a library, where players must collect up 8 books and then use a piece of paper to decipher the correct code to unlock the exit. The second room is set within a maintenance area and requires the player to track down 10 fuses, which must then be placed into a power unit. This allows for power to be turned on and electrify pools of water around the environment. In turn, this sets fire to the Figure and sends it hurtling through a nearby window. After this, the player must complete a memory puzzle to power up the elevator and escape the maintenance room before it blows. But the Figure returns and attacks the elevator, sending both it and the player plunging into the darkness below. Now let's take a look at the secondary entities, ones that are not seen so often or are non-hostile, as well as those included for story purposes. The first of these is an entity known as Glitch. Created as a failsafe by the developers, Glitch will only appear if the next room fails to load. In this instant, it materializes as a purple mass of floating cubes surrounded by a pixelated aura. It will attack the player, causing the screen to glitch out and then spawn them in the next room, though it deals no damage in the process. When hiding in lockers and closets to escape the many terrors stalking the halls of a hotel, you may feel the urge to remain hidden for long periods of time. However, this next entity makes sure that your time spent in these hiding spots is short-lived. For if we linger too long, then an entity known as Hide begins to distort our vision. The message "Get out" flashes on screen. If we ignore this final warning, then Hide will eject us from the save zone and deal 40 damage in the process, leaving the player to the mercy of whatever may still be lurking outside. Snare doesn't appear until the final stretch of doors, showing up in the greenhouse area from room 90 onward. It looks harmless enough at first glance, a pile of dirt containing several holes. This appearance is deceptive, as accidentally standing on Snare causes spikes to shoot out of these many holes, impaling the player and stunning them for a few seconds. While stunned by Snare, players are open to attack from the many entities which constantly roam the greenhouse area. Jack is a mischievous and haunting entity that doesn't deal damage to players with physical attacks, but rather aims to inflict mental anguish. On rare instances, while entering new rooms and hiding spots, Jack will jump scare the player, sometimes kicking them back out of a room or closet they have just entered. He appears as a ghoulish, smiling face. Another prankster residing within the hotel is this spider named Timothy. This 8-legged freak hides inside various drawers, ready to jump out and attack the player as they search for loot. As well as a nasty jump scare, Timothy also inflicts a small amount of damage to those who fall victim to his surprise attack. On very rare occasions, when looking through the many windows found throughout the hotel, there is a chance to see a ghostly face staring at us through the glass. This face is an entity known as Window, and is more of an Easter egg than anything tangible. Window is placid and never directly attacks or jump scares the player, and as quickly as he appears, he vanishes in a clap of thunder. After escaping the figure for the first time, we enter a room unlike any other in the Doors universe. This room contains Jeff's store, run by a secretive entity known as, you guessed it, Jeff. This friendly character sells passers-by key items that will help them to survive the perils ahead. We don't get a good look at Jeff, but we can see he has a bright pair of white eyes which stare at us from the shadows. He also seems to have 2 tentacles, used to take money and dispense his wares. Besides Jeff's stall are 2 other characters. The first is a human skeleton named Bob. We can interact with Bob, but doing so results in a message that simply states nothing happened. Perhaps in a future update, this character will be patched with a jump scare or some kind of key item. Bob's associate is a red goblin known as El Goblino. This cheerful character has an ear piercing and wears torn shorts and spiky wristbands. His eyes are large and yellow, resembling the same shape and appearance as Jeff's. El Goblino will interact with a player should they approach. We are able to speak to the goblin 3 times before they stop responding. Their conversation adds some humour and additional lore to the game world. The next entity doesn't take a physical form and so cannot be shown in this video. It also only shows up during multiplayer sessions. The Void is an entity designed to teleport players who lag behind their friends back to their party. The following jump scare plays out as the lights dim and the player is transported during a loud flash. This flash causes a random amount of damage to the person in question and can even be fatal on occasion. Finally, we have 3 secret entities. These are found within a secret area of the game known as the Rooms. This area looks very different from the hotel, taking on the appearance of a cold and clinical office environment. It can be found around room 60 and is accessed using a pair of lockpicks and a skeleton key. A60 gets its name due to its appearance around room 60 onward. It takes on the form of a nightmarish face with glowing red eyes. In terms of behaviour, A60 behaves much like Rush, speeding through rooms and claiming anyone who isn't safely hiding in one of the many nearby lockers. However, unlike Rush, there is no visual warning when A60 approaches. Instead, we must listen out for its sound and then quickly hide before its arrival. One of the strangest entities in the game is A90, who appears as a pixelated face in the centre of the screen. The face looks truly unnerving. It resembles that of a screaming man. After appearing, the face instantly switches to a stop sign, and when this happens, the player must stand perfectly still and not move until A90 has passed. Moving too soon will trigger a jump scare, which deals 90 damage points to the player and often results in death. The final entry on this rundown is A120. This entity looks like a children's drawing, the scribble of a smiling face. In fact, it is referenced as Squiggly Face. It acts much like Rush and A60, passing through the room and causing the screen to flicker. A dull banging sound can also be heard as it draws near. A120 causes instant death, and so it is imperative to hide before it enters the room. And with that, we have come to the end of this look at each of the entities found within Roblox doors. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it both entertaining and informative. If you did, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.